Good morning, students. Today we are going to study about properties of real number. You already know what are real numbers. So today we will know some properties of it. First property of real number is completeness property. This property states that every real number can be represented on a real line, and each point on a real line corresponds to a real number. So what does this mean? So just we can take an example that if we have a number line, we mark origin, then we can divide it into equal parts. So this is 1, 2, 3. Now you take any point on this real line. If we take just a midpoint of 0 and 1, midpoint of 0, 1. So we all know that this point, name it P, and this is 1 by 2. So point P corresponds to 1 by 2. Similarly, if we take any other real number like 3 by 4, now this 3 by 4 can be also represented on this number line. So how can we do that? So just we can divide point from O to P into half and P to A into half. So now you can see that O to A we have 4 equal parts. Now each point, so this point represents 1 by 4, this represents 1 by 2 by 4, and this point represents 3 by 4. We can mark it as Q. So we can say that on the number line OP is equal to 1 by 2 and OQ is equal to 3 by 4. So from this we get this property, that completeness property. Every real number can be represented on a real number by unique point, and each point on this line corresponds to a unique real number. Then second property is density property. So what do we mean by density property? By this we mean that if we have two real numbers, then between these two real numbers we can get infinitely many real numbers. So already you know that if you are asked to find two or more than two rational numbers between given two rational numbers, you can do it. Similarly, you can also do the same for the irrational numbers. So if you get two irrational numbers, you can also get many irrational numbers between these two given irrational numbers. So that property is called density property of real numbers. Then we all know what are the basic mathematical operations. Basic mathematical operations are addition, subtraction, multiplication and division. We can do all these mathematical operations on real numbers also. So first we are going to study about these properties of addition, properties of real numbers. Now the first property is closure property, second is commutative law, third is associative law, fourth is existence of additive identity, fifth is existence of additive inverse. Now let's explain each one of them with example. Now what does closure property mean? This property states that if we get any two real numbers, on adding these two real numbers we will always get a real number. So sum of two real numbers will be a real number. That means if we take A and B as two real numbers, and if we add A and B, then its sum A plus B will be a real number only. So sum of two real numbers will be a real number. Then second property is commutative law. Commutative law states that if we add two numbers, if we have A and B as two real numbers, and we get the sum of A plus B, then we can also get the sum of B plus A. Now what we find? We find that if we take A plus B or B plus A, the sum will remain the same. That means A plus B is equal to b plus a. That means on changing the order of the real numbers, sum does not change. So this law is called commutative law. So when we add two real numbers, if we change the order, if we put first number at the place of second number and second number at the place of first number, the answer, that is sum, will not change. This is called commutative law of addition. Then next we have associative law. In this case, if we have more than two numbers, we all know that addition is a binary operation. That means at any time we can add only two numbers. So if we have more than two numbers, then what we can do? So let's take an example. If we have A, B and C as three real numbers. In this case, if we have to find the sum of this, we have two options. We can add A plus B, and to this we can add C. So use a bracket. This bracket now means that we will have to add A and B first, and the sum of this is to be added to C. Then we have also the second option. We could have added B and C first, and to this we could have added A. So what we have done? We have changed the order. We have taken two numbers first and then added third number to that. In the second case, we have taken the second and third number, and to that we have added first number. So in this case also, what we find that the result will remain the same. So that means we can, if we have more than two numbers, we can take any two number first, add it, and then to the sum of this we can add the third number. Same thing applies for more than three numbers also. That means in that case, if we have four numbers, for example, A plus B, and then we have also C and D, so C plus D. So we can add A plus B first, then C plus D, and to their sum we can add. Same way we can do here. First we can take C and D, add it, and to this we can add A plus B. So in this case also result will not change. This is called associative law of addition. Then we have existence of additive identity. According to this, if we take any real number A and to this we add 0, what we get? We get A. Same way, if we take 0 and to this we add A, sum remains the same. It is A. So 0 is called additive identity of addition. By adding 0 to any real number, sum remains the same. So A plus 0 is equal to 0 plus A is equal to A. This law is called existence of additive identity. So when we add 0 to any real number, our answer will be that real number only. So this is additive identity. Next property is existence of additive inverse. According to this, if we have a number, real number A, and to this we add negative form of this number, what we get? We get A minus A is equal to 0. Or if we have minus A and to this we add A, then what the answer will be? It will be 0. So we can see here that A and minus 1 are additive inverse of each other. That means if we take any real number and add a negative real number to that, the sum will be 0. Or if we get a negative real number and to that we add the positive form of the same, again the result will be 0. So this is called additive inverse of real numbers. On adding negative form of any real number or on adding positive form of any positive form of a real number to its negative form, we get 0. So this is called additive inverse. So these are some of the properties of real number. Now we can apply this in doing some sum. So let's take some example. So first we have, now first example is 3 root 2 plus 7 root 3, and to this we have to add root 2 minus 5 root 3. So how can we do the sum of this? So first we take 3 root 2 plus 7 root 3. To this we have to add root 2 minus 5 root 3. In this case, what can we do? First, we take the numbers out of the bracket. So we have 3 plus root 2 plus 7 root 3 plus root 2 minus 5 root 3. Now here what we have to do? First we have to arrange the numbers according to their roots. So all the roots, that numbers which have roots with it, you put it together. So here you can see what are the numbers here. First we have 3 alone, so we can put it, here it is 3 root 3. So now you can see here it is 3 root 2 and here we have root 2. So we write 3 root 2 plus root 2 plus 7 root 3 minus 5 root 3. Next what we do? Next when we have got number coefficient of any root, we only add the coefficient of the root. So here coefficient of root 2 is 3, here coefficient root 2 is 1. So what we do here? We will take 3 plus 1 into root 2. Same here, plus in bracket coefficient root 3 is 7 minus 5 into root 3 is equal to, so now you can see 3 plus 1, 4 root 2 plus 7 minus 5 is 2 root 3. So the sum is, final answer is 4 root 2 plus 2 root 3. Now further we cannot add because root 2 and root 3 are different. These are called unlike rational numbers. So we cannot add or subtract unlike rational numbers. We can only add or subtract coefficient of like rational numbers. That means if their coefficient are, the roots are same, then only we can add or subtract. If they have different roots, then we cannot add or subtract those numbers. Then we can take the second example.